Joyce Sparkle VS, and I have been really excited to get this video out, and you guys know I keep having things getting in the way, and I filmed this a couple days ago, and I've been sitting on it, and finally I am ready to put it up. I was gonna put it up yesterday. Wait, my right now is everybody else's tomorrow, which is your today. That's a lot of math for me to do in my head. But okay, so anyway, I was gonna put this up. How about we'll use days of the week? And there are days of the week, aren't there? Monday. I was gonna put this up Monday, but then Shane Dawson decided to be a huge fucking asshole and fuck me over by giving me a shout out. And I had to fangirl like a complete asshole and be a sarcastic dick about it, because that's what I do. For whatever insecure reason, so fuck off. What was I talking about? BetterHelp. So, okay, BetterHelp. What are we gonna talk about with BetterHelp? What we're gonna talk about with BetterHelp is the privacy policy. And I have been waiting to go over this. If you guys remember, we did a fucking really long video. Okay, sorry y'all, I had to take a break, so I didn't realize roommate had been cooking and that fan was on, you know, like that, is it an exhaust fan? Is that what it's called? Like above the stove, it's like, mrr. I don't need to imitate it. That's what it sounds like. That was a horrible imitation. And then I realized because it's raining and it's cold outside, we had the dogs, they went out and they got drenched and came back and they were cold, so we turned the heat on, and I realized I'm like, I'm all red and I'm getting sweaty, so I turned the AC on. So basically I swapped one fan for another and the dogs are about to fight. Are they good? I think they're good. Okay, keep an eye on them. So anyway, I'll continue. Sorry if you start seeing me sweat a little bit, that's why. So we'll see if we can get some air circulating. Ha, okay. Because you know, it's like, it's not just that we turned the heat on, right, which is fine, but then he was cooking and I used to never sweat, but then I became a whale and my body changed. Anyway, I digress. BetterHelp Privacy Policy. If you guys remember, we went over the terms of service, which was a really crazy long video with tons and tons of information. I probably should have done it in 2 parts, but a lot of people don't like the 2 parts, so I'm just trying to do longer videos, which I guess y'all like. I don't know. Some of y'all say you like it. I like it because like I like the longer videos. I'll like clean and get stuff done as I listen to them. So I'm trying it this way, and fuck it. These are like what, little mini docu-series. It's not really docu-series. I'm not documenting anything other than my commentary. It's not really docu-series. I'm digressing. Anyway, I've been really excited to dig into this because there have been a lot of rumors, as you guys know, surrounding and swirling the terms of service and the privacy policy. Now I want to put this disclaimer in, and I've said this before and I will say it again. I am not a lawyer. I have no legal expertise whatsoever. I'm not somebody that makes contracts for a living, but I am somebody who signed lots of contracts, done lots of business with lots of different contracts with all types of things, particularly as well, startups and tech. So I know a little bit. Like, I feel like I know enough to sniff out bullshit, but I'm not trying to tell you I'm an expert. I'm just telling you from the expertise I have in business, the things that I see that are shady, and the things that I see that either don't make this professional, possibly make it void, or make this to be what people think is a scam. And we're gonna go through it thoroughly because a lot of people are saying stuff like, it says in here that they will sell your info. And I was looking it over and I'm like, it doesn't directly say that, but it implies all kinds of other things. So we'll get into that. I'm really, really excited. If you guys don't remember, I'm gonna give a little introduction. So basically, people had been sending me stuff with BetterHelp when Shane Dawson had commented on my video and I lost my mind. Right after that, people were sending me all kinds of stuff about BetterHelp, and BetterHelp literally, I hadn't even said anything yet, is on Twitter responding. Like, they're watching everything. It's creepy. So I'm gonna show you a quick interaction that I had with them. I had it in the last video, and there were several questions I asked that they didn't answer that we're gonna try to get the answer in this video. So without further ado, and hopefully without further fucking rambling, here we go, the BetterHelp privacy policy, and here was the short Twitter exchange. So just a quick refresher on how this all started with me and the BetterHelp app. If you didn't see the video before, if you remember, I put up a video saying Shane is done with criticism, and this really sweet girl gave me some information about BetterHelp, and she had been giving me information and told me, be careful, they're watching shit, and then immediately BetterHelp starts responding. So I start asking them all kinds of questions about what's their criteria, what are they doing, are the rumors true, how do they vet people, and they really didn't go over much. They didn't go over much at all. And then when they sent me their terms of service, or they told me to look at their terms of service, and they're like, oh yeah, we do this, that, and the other, they lied to my face. Flat out lied to my face. So these are the tweets that we shared. And I wanted to go over this before we go over the privacy policy, just so you guys are aware and can remember, this is what we went over. These are the questions that I asked, and these are the questions they didn't answer. our therapist licensed? What's the criteria for checking and verifying credentials? How do we verify and check the credentials of counselors on our own? What resources do we use? Is your job to provide safe counselors to consumers or clients? Are they random people? How safe is it? Asked a second time, how to check counselor verification for therapists. What does HIPAA certified mean? And why aren't sessions private? And their answers, these are the answers they gave. We have to look at the credentials of counselors on the website. We have to do our own investigation into the counselors and whether or not they're certified. They do vet counselors, but give no information on how this process works. The terms of service basically says they assume no legal responsibility if shit goes south, but they do have their own vetting process, but they don't tell us what it is. So I wanted you guys to keep this in mind for when we go into the privacy policy, because if you remember, they specifically stated that the privacy policy is included with the terms of service. They gave a link to privacy policy. So they said, if you click, you agree to the terms of service, you are also agreeing to the privacy policy. So without further ado on that, let's take a look and see what is in this privacy policy that's scaring everyone. Privacy policy. Your privacy is extremely important to us. We are constantly putting a great deal of thought, effort, tools, and procedures in order to protect and safeguard your privacy. This document is our privacy policy, and it contains details on issues related to your privacy when using our services. It is intended to inform you of our policies, procedures, and practices regarding the collection, use, and disclosure of any information that you provide through the platform. The privacy policy is part of our terms and conditions, which can be found in our website. The terms in the privacy policy, such as, but not limited to we, our, us, platform provider, provider services, etc., have the same meaning as in our terms and conditions document. When you use our platform, you accept and agree to both the terms and conditions and to the privacy policy. If you do not agree to be bound to the privacy policy, you should stop using the platform immediately. By accessing and using our platform, you affirm that you have read the terms and conditions and the privacy policy, and that you understand, agree, and acknowledge to all the terms contained in both of them. Okay, see nothing wrong there. Information collection and use. To let us operate the platform effectively and to let you use the platform, including the provider's services, we have to collect and use some of your information from you, the information. You may decide which information, if any, you would like to share with us, but some functions of the platform may not be available to you without providing us the necessary information. By deciding to provide the information, you agree to our methods of collections and use, as well to other terms and provisions of the privacy policy. The different types of information we collect and how we intend to use them are detailed below. Personal identifiable information. When you sign up to the platform, update your account details, provide your billing information, provide your emergency contact information, or make other use of our services, we may ask you for personal identifiable information, personal information. The personal information can be used. Hold on. The personal information can be used. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes I pause because I'm thinking, did I read that wrong? The personal information can be used to contact you or identify you, and it may include, but not limited to, and it may include another. Sorry, it's worded weird. Your name, your email, your phone number, your address, and your credit card information. We may use the personal information either by itself or in conjunction with other information for the following purposes. All right, let's see what they use the information for. Create your account at our platform, let you log into the account, administer your account, monitor your account, provide customer service, and contact you with information, alerts, and suggestions that are related to your account. That's weird. Isn't that worded weird? Create your account at our platform. Should be on our platform. Create your account on at our platform. Nobody says that. Let you log into the account, administer your account, Again, this is just worded like somebody didn't know English who wrote this. And contact you with information, alerts, and suggestions that are related to your account. Okay, anyways, I just wanted to go over that because that was worded rude. Billing related purposes. All right, so far it makes sense aside from the weird fucking spelling and not proofreading anything. Reach out to you, either ourselves or using the appropriate authorities, if either we or a provider has a good reason to believe that you or any other person may be in danger or may be either the cause or the victim of a criminal act. Okay, that makes sense. Let a provider know your first name so he or she can communicate you with effectively. Okay. Let a provider know your state to ensure he is licensed and qualified to provide a service to you. Hold on. Let a provider know your state. Oh, okay. So let a provider know what state you're in so you can make sure that the therapist is licensed in your state to give you counseling. And once again, though, shouldn't that be BetterHelp who figures that out? If they're going to put you with a therapist, wouldn't they be checking the state that you say you live in regards to the state of like the other people that live in that state? Oh, but I forget. You guys have to check. Like if we go on there, we have to make sure that BetterHelp did their job. I'm sorry, that drives me nuts. So, okay, so we're going to keep going. Profile information. We may ask you several questions about you and your needs. Profile information. This information is shared with providers that use our platform. We may use the profile information either by itself or in conjunction with other information for the following purposes. Match you with a provider, help us and our providers get to know you and your needs, collect and analyze statistical or aggregated information which is not personally identifiable. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so it says we might ask you several questions about your needs. Information is shared with providers that use the platform. Okay, so the information is shared. Providers, I'm assuming therapists, right? Although their wording is tricky, so you're not 100% sure. We use the profile information either by itself or in conjunction with other information for the following purposes. Collect and analyze statistical or aggregated information which is not personally identifiable. Well, what are you using that information for? Where's that statistical information going and for what purposes? Okay, here we go. Log data. When you use the platform, our servers or servers of third-party services automatically record information that your browser sends, log data. This log data may include, but not limited to, information such as your computer, internet protocol address, your IP, pages that you visit and the time spent on those pages, actions that you take, and other statistics. We may use this information either by itself or in conjunction with other information for the following purposes. Monitor, analyze, and improve the use and functionality of the platform's technical operations, and the match of the platform's functionality to your needs and preferences. Session content. Well, let's go back to this log data first. It says, okay, they're servers or they're servers of a third-party service. What third-party service that you're not mentioning is logging all of this data, like IP, like the pages that you visit, access to stuff on your computer? That's my thing. Like, what third party is storing this information? So here we go, session content. While using the platform, you and a provider would likely write or say things by means of text-based communication, such as messages, verbal communication, or video communication, either internally or to each other, collectively, session content. The session content is shared with the providers that work with you. The session content may be used either by itself or in conjunction with other information for the following purposes. Let a provider provide the service to you, okay? Supervise, administer, and monitor the service. Wait a minute. Why would you need to supervise, administer, and monitor the service? Haven't they said very strictly that anything that happens between the counselor and the client is only between them? They have no liability. Nobody can legally come after them. But they want to use your information, your session content, verbal communication or video communication to supervise, administer, and monitor the service. How does that make any sense? Who's supervising this? Is this a third party that we don't know about? Like, what are they doing this for? Allow professional supervision to the provider by qualified professionals. Well, what does that mean? Again, to me, it's like you can't go in your terms of service and say anything that happens between you guys, and we have no legal liability. You can't go after us. And we don't do anything negative with your information. You know, we're very protective of your information. And then go and say, okay, well, third-party places are going to take all your data, like your IP, where you've been to, information from your computer, and then your sessions that are supposed to be private, we're going to have people supervising it and monitoring it and administering. Like, administering what? And you're allowing professional supervision to the provider by qualified professionals. Well, why would you need to do that? Like, that's what I don't understand. It's like, are you secret shopping your own people? I thought you vetted these people, and these people are all qualified to do what they do. And again, who is doing this? Who is taking this information and doing this? So, okay, let's continue. Note that all communications transmitted through the platform may be recorded or monitored for quality assurance and training purposes and become part of your file and records. Who the fuck are they training? Who are they for quality assurance and training purposes and become part of your file and records? What file and what records? All communications transmitted through the platform, guys, may be recorded or monitored and become part of your file and records. But the file and records, is that also for the third party that they haven't disclosed that's going to have your information? Cookies and web beacons. Like any website, we use cookies and web beacons to collect information. A cookie is a small data file that is being transferred to your computer's hard disk for record-keeping purposes. A web beacon is a tiny image placed on a web page or email that can report your visit or use. We use cookies and web beacons to enable the technical operation of the platform, to administer your login to your account, and to collect the log data. You can change your browser settings to it will stop. Wait a minute. You can change your browser settings to it will stop. It just, again, worded weird. You can change your browser settings to it will stop accepting cookies or to prompt you before accepting a cookie. However, if you do not accept cookies, you may not be able to use the platform. The platform may also include the use of cookies and web beacons of services owned or provided, again, here we go, by third parties that are not covered by our privacy policy, and we do not have access or control over these cookies or web beacons. I want to read that sentence again. Listen to this. The platform may also include the use of cookies and web beacons of services owned or provided by third parties that are not covered by our privacy policy, and we do not have access or control over these cookies and web beacons. So they're basically saying, we're going to use cookies and web beacons to collect information, and we're going to keep this, and here's the reason why, but it also might have a third party that accesses it and keeps it, and we have no control over that whatsoever. Yeah, that doesn't sound shady. Social and general information tools. We would be using several publicly available tools and information exchange resources, such as, but not limited to, a blog, a Facebook page, a Twitter account, a Google Plus account, and others, collectively, socially and general information tools. Any information you provide or share by using the social and general information tool may be freely read, accessed, collected, and used by others. Okay, and this, let's look at this. This really freaks me out. We would be using several publicly available tools and information exchange resources, such as, but not limited to, a blog, a Facebook page, a Twitter account, a Google Plus account, and others, collectively social and general information tools. Any information you provide or share by using the social and general information tools may be freely read, accessed, collected, and used by others. So basically, they are saying any information that you provide or share from any of your social medias, they can use and do whatever the fuck that they want with. Good God, this is so fucking shady, y'all. Jesus Christ. Phishing. Online identity theft and account hacking, including the practice currently known as phishing, are of great concern. You should always suspect when you are being asked for account information, and you must always make sure you do that in our secure system. Hold on, let's listen to that again. You should always suspect when you are being asked for your account information, and you must always make sure you do that in our secure system. It's, again, do you see what I'm saying? It's just weirded. It's just weirded. It's weirded wordly. I keep saying it. It's I'm making fun of the way they're wording something and I can't word it. It's just worded very weirdly. You should always suspect when somebody's asking you for information. You must always make sure to do that in our secure system. That's just, it's redundant. It's like, okay, it's worded funny. We will never request your login information, your credit card information in a non-secure or unsolicited communication, email, phone, or otherwise. Okay, so let's keep going. Aggregate information and non-identifying information. We may share aggregated information that does not include any personal information with third parties for any purpose, including but not limited to industry analysts, research, business transaction, and public relations. Holy shit. Listen to this. Do you hear this? Like, I don't even think that's just self-explanatory. We may share aggregated information that does not include any personal information with third parties for any purpose, including but not limited to industry analysts, research, business transactions, and public relations. Basically, like they're saying, we can do anything we want with your information. We may share it if we fucking feel to. That's scary. Links. The platform may contain links to other websites, services, or authors which are owned, operated, or maintained by third parties. If you click on a third-party link, you will be directed to that third-party website or service. The fact that we link to a website or service is not an endorsement, authorization, or representation of our affiliation with that third party, nor is it an endorsement of their privacy or information security policies or practices. We do not have control over third-party websites and services, and we do not have control over their privacy policies and terms of use. I guess I get that. They're like, if you click on a link, then whatever happens there. We don't have control over it. I get that. It's just, God, with all the other shady shit about what they can do with your information, this seems like it's a little loosely worded in my opinion. Transfer of business. We may sell or transfer some or all of our assets, including your personal information, in connection with a merger, acquisition, consolidation, joint venture, reorganization, or sale of assets. Such transactions would be covered by a confidentiality agreement. I guess that makes sense. If basically you're like, yeah, if we sell the business, then we sell everything, including all of your shit that we have collected, whether or not it's technically legal or not, or ethical or not. So I guess that one makes sense with what they're saying. Still don't trust it, but it makes sense. Service providers. We may employ third-party companies and individuals to facilitate our platform to perform certain tasks which are related to the platform to provide audit, legal, operational, or other services for us. These tasks include, but not limited to, customer service, technical maintenance, monitoring, email management and communication, database management, billing, and payment processing, reporting and analytics. When needed, we may disclose information, including personal information, to such third parties, but we will try to limit the personal information disclosed to the minimum necessary to perform their tasks. So again, right out the gate, the first sentence, we may employ third-party companies as individuals to facilitate our platform to perform certain tasks which are related to the platform or to provide audit, legal, operational, or other services for us. So they're going to employ third parties who are going to have access to your information. And remember, if these third parties have access to it, well, fuck it. They don't know what to do. They don't have any, they can't do anything about that. So, and they're saying that these third parties, they could do anything from customer service, monitoring shit, email management, managing the communications. I mean, reporting, analytics, billing, payment. When needed, we may disclose information, including personal information, to such third parties, but we will try to limit the personal information disclosed to a minimum necessary to perform their tasks. So your personal information may be going to these other companies. We don't know who these other companies are and exactly what we're doing with it, and there's nothing we can do per the agreement when you sign up. I don't know, just fucking shady to me. Children's privacy. We do not knowingly collect or solicit any information from anyone under the age of 13 or knowingly allow such persons to become our user. The platform is not directed and not intended to be used by children under the age of 13. If you are aware that we have collected personal information from a child under age 13, please let us know by contacting us and we will delete that information. And again, they'll delete that information, but if it's a third party, guess that child's fucked, aren't they? We do not allow anybody under the age of 18 to use the platform without parental consent, authorization, and presence. Well, that's at least a fucking relief. International transfer. Your information may be transferred to and maintained on computers located outside of your state, province, country, or other governmental jurisdiction where the privacy laws may not be as protected as those in your jurisdiction. And that is the sentence right there. You guys can't see it, but I'm clapping. So you're fucked. Basically, your information is fucked and is being maintained in possible places outside the country that don't protect your information. If you are located outside the United States and choose to provide information to us, we may transfer personal information to the United States and process it there. If you are located in the United States and choose to provide information to us, we may also transfer some personal information outside the U.S. and process it there. Your consent to this privacy policy, followed by your submission of such information, represents your agreement to such transfers. So again, basically, guys, you are agreeing when you use this service to let your information be maintained and collected on computers outside the United States, and they might not be protective of privacy laws or have any whatsoever. And they're saying it doesn't matter if you live in a different country or you live in the United States. They could just send the info back and forth at their own fucking will and discretion, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, that seems real safe. Compliance with laws and law enforcement. We cooperate with government and law enforcement officials and private parties to enforce and comply with the law. We will disclose any information, including personal information, to government or law enforcement officials or private parties as we, in our sole discretions, believe necessary or appropriate to respond to claims and legal processes, including, but not limited to, subpoenas, to protect the property and rights of ourselves or a third party, to protect the safety of the public or any person, or to prevent or stop activity we may consider to be or to pose a risk of being any illegal, unethical, or legally actionable activity. We may disclose information, including personal information, to take precautions against liability. You should be aware that providers may be obligated to disclose information to law enforcement or other authorities to conform to the professional and legal responsibilities. Specifically, and without limitation, you should be aware that the law requires mental health professionals to disclose information and or take action in the following cases: reported or suspended abuse of a child or vulnerable adult, seriously suicidal potential, threatened harm to another person, court-ordered presentation of treatment. Okay, that makes sense. They have to, they have to comply with the laws when it comes to if you're going to hurt yourself or other people and children involved. Okay, get that. Data retention. This looks like a good one. You may review, update, correct, or delete the personal information in your account by contacting us or by editing it online. If you would like to delete your personal information or any other information from our system, please contact us with such request. We will use commercially responsible efforts to honor your request. However, we may retain an archived copy of your records as required by law for legitimate business purposes or for record-keeping purposes. There may also be residual information that will remain within our databases and other records, including, without limitation, some data that may be still archived and stored offline. We are not responsible for removing information from the third parties that we have already legitimately shared personal information about you. So this whole thing basically says if you want info deleted, you can ask us, and you can send us a formal request. However, if we've sent your information somewhere to other third parties, you're screwed. Oh, and if we've stored it offline, you're screwed too. So basically, this is just saying we can do whatever we want, and it's a big fuck you to people. Like that's literally all this is. Security. We are concerned about safeguarding your information. The security of your personal information is very important to us. Therefore, we employ measures to protect this information from unauthorized access, use, and disclosure. Really? They employ measures to protect this information from unauthorized access, use, and disclosure, but they authorize third parties to take it in other countries and do whatever the fuck they want with, and there's nothing you can do. But they're concerned about safeguarding your information. Let's be clear. However, the confidentiality of any communication transmitted through the platform or stored with us cannot be guaranteed. Of course not. Why could they guarantee anything, including if you actually are speaking to a licensed therapist, or that they're going to protect your information when they clearly say they're going to give it wherever the fuck they want? Please remember that no method of electronic transmission over the internet or method of storage can be 100% secure. And I agree with that. However, it's not going to be secure when you're just sending it off to third parties and there's nothing we can do about it. You acknowledge and agree that you share and transmit the information at your own risk, as further detailed in our terms of use. If you have reason to believe that there has been security, including but not limited to hacking, to your account, you must notify us immediately. Well, why? What's the difference between somebody hacking your account versus it just being stored wherever the fuck y'all want to store it, and with whomever you want? So stupid. Changes to the privacy policy. We may update this privacy statement at our sole discretion. The date of the last revision of this policy appears at the end of this page. We encourage you to periodically review this page for your latest information on our privacy policy and practices, and contacting us. If you have any questions or concerns about this privacy policy or our privacy-related practices, please contact us by clicking the Contact Us link at the bottom of any page on our website. And this says last updated August 7th, 2013. And then there's some additional information that says General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR notice. This section provides additional information about our privacy policy relevant to users from the European Union. Number 1, legal basis to process your personal data. It is necessary for us to use your personal information to perform our obligations in accordance with any contract that we may have with you. It is our legitimate interest or a third party's legitimate interest to use personal information in such a way to ensure that we provide the services in the best way that we can. It is our legal obligation to use your personal information to comply with any legal obligations imposed on us. Okay, that makes sense. Additional information about third-party cookies. Oh, this looks good. We use third-party cookies for the purposes of web analytics and attribution, anonymous statistics on how our platform is in use, and error management, measuring of any errors that occur on the platform. We don't allow third parties to use cookies for any other purpose, but before you said you did. So which one is it, unless this just only applies to Europe? So which one is it? Health-related data. In some cases, some of the personal information that you give us may be considered health-related data. This information may be required to provide counseling and related services to you on this platform. Okay, I guess I kind of understand. Some of the personal information you give us may be considered health-related info. And related. So basically, it sounds like they can take the information you've given them and they want to continue to sell you shit, which, that's what fucking companies do. Managing your personal information with us. You can view and edit any personal data that you have provided to us using this website. Automated processing of your personal information is necessary to operate the platform effectively and to provide counseling and related services. Data Protection Officer. BetterHelp is the controller with respect to your personal data. You can contact our Data Protection Officer with questions, concerns, or objections about this policy or about your data by writing to, and it provides the address. Let's see, it says BetterHelp Data Protection Officer, 440 North Wolf with an E Road, Suite E026, Sunnyvale, California, 94085 USA, or privacy what is that? Privacy plus sign. I never see plus signs in an email. Privacy plus sign DPO at betterhelp.com. And or number 6, GDPR Article 27, European representatives, EU representatives. You can contact our EU representatives by writing us here. BetterHelp EU representative, care of legal department, Cal de Almagro. Cal de Almagro. I think that's how you say that. I don't fucking know. 3628010 Madrid, Spain. And privacy.eurep at betterhelp.com. And this part says it was last updated September 14th. So that one was updated, like that part of the information sector was updated a little bit before then. So let's review the basics of what we learned today. These are the privacy policy notes. They can give your information to third parties at any time for any reason. They record everything you do and put it in your personal file. All your information may be stored on servers or offline outside the United States in countries where the laws for protecting your information are not covered by U.S. law or any other law. They will monitor your sessions for quality purposes and training, even though they don't actually train people. They just hire therapists out the gate and let them go. If you want to delete your information, you have to send a special request. However, that does not and will not cover third parties having your information. They do not tell us who the third parties are, nor what their intentions are. So basically, anything you do, they can at any time send it to a third party, and you are fucked. There's no way to get rid of it. We don't even know who these third parties are, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it might not be covered by United States law or any other law. Okay, I think that sums it up fairly well, in my opinion. You guys, if you want, I know there are other lawyers on YouTube who are doing their own videos on this stuff. I've been looking at what they're saying, and we're all kind of in the similar place with how we're seeing stuff. There's too many shady things. There's too many things that are indirect. Like, my favorite is, if you want to have your stuff deleted, write us, we'll do our best. But if we've sent it to a third party, fuck you. Like, this whole thing basically is, like, so I want to sum this up because this drives me nuts. So the terms of service, we are not legally liable for anything. We may check the credentials of people if we feel like it, but if there's any issue between you and the counselor, it has nothing to do with us. We are just a third-party facilitator, right? So, and we're not going to do anything with your stuff or monitor, or we're not going to do anything with your conversations. Then we go to the privacy policy, and the privacy policy states, yeah, so here's the thing, we're gonna have third parties have your information, and if they do, there's nothing you can really do about it. They can do whatever they want with it. They can use it for administering. The fuck is administering? Administering, training, quality assurance. My thing is, if you, and this part drove me nuts, if you had a company and employees, or even if like you closely worked with your independent contractors, which is not the case for this app from what we can tell, in the case that you were really working with people, I could understand quality and training purposes, like for instance, customer service people do that. You know, you'll hear it when you call in someplace. This may be recorded, you know, for quality to monitor for quality assurance and all of that, and that's normal. 2 things. Number 1, it doesn't sound like they work that close with their counselors for them to be training that way. Number 2, this goes against ethics of counseling. The business itself is going against the ethics of what counseling is, which is supposed to be private. So the company itself is breaking ethical policies that are put into place by organizations that do counseling and psychiatry and therapy. That's why they have ethics. This is why I've been going nuts about Peter Monn, and that's not done. If you haven't seen the Peter Monn series, go into that. Self-proclaimed therapist of YouTube. It absolutely drives me nuts. It really, really irritates me. Nobody should be listening in. Nobody. And here's the thing. Let me explain something. You could say, yeah, but maybe they're trying to train the other therapist. You know what you do in that case? You hire a couple actors. You have a mock setup that they record of them doing a counseling session. You do this as many times as you need to, a mock one. You have them sign NDAs and contracts and all different types of stuff, basically saying, hey, you are contractors, you are hired paid actors, this isn't real counseling, this, that, and the other. That is what you would put in place. You would use that to train your counselors. So who the fuck are you training? What quality assurance? If you can't vouch that they're even counselors, why the fuck are you giving a shit about why are you trying to assure the quality of the counselors that you're saying you don't even vet and you don't even check or you may from time to time. Really? And remember all the really weird wording about like, what was it? They were like counselors, coaches, life coaches, like contractors. They were using all these different words. And that bothers me because that right there tells me they know they're not really vetting their people. Not really. They can't really ensure that you're speaking to a counselor. So they use every word they can come up with at the drop of their head, or they look up synonyms on Google for any word that's a replacement for counselor. Because you know what the shitty part is? Anybody can say life coach and get away with shit. You can slap life coach on a whole lot of stuff. So this bothers me. So from my perspective, a couple things. This is a scam. They are probably selling your information. If you've already used this app and they sold your information, or they've given it someplace, there's nothing you can do about it. And I think there was no legal representative that looked over this. If there was, the person didn't have English as a first or even second language. Privact. Remember, like it doubled something like used to. What are you doing, sweet pea? What are you into? Oh, you got a toy, okay. Just making sure. Puppies everywhere. So anyways, I don't think they actually had any real legal representative look over this information. That fucking bothers me. That bothers me right there. But at the same time, here's what I would say. I want to give some advice. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but this is just regular business advice that I could give from my line of work. If you think that you've signed this, like if you've signed one of these and you've been doing sessions and you've given information, this, that, and the other, I would contact a lawyer to look over this, because if they didn't have a lawyer look over this shit, then there's probably some legal loopholes that you could get them for that I don't have the expertise to tell you. That's what I would say. And I'm sure there are plenty, or at least a few lawyers who would be willing to do that. I hope that there are some lawyers on YouTube that are willing to do that. And if you're a lawyer and you'd like to sit down and talk with me and go over this, I would love to go over the contract with you, because I think it's really predatory. It's really fucking predatory in my opinion. It's really predatory to put this out there, bait people who are having mental health issues, have this large fucking terms of service, and then say, oh, if you sign the terms of service, well, you're signing the privacy policy, and put a link to it, just a fucking link. Don't actually put the privacy policy in what you're signing, and you go the privacy policy and the terms of service and privacy policy are arguing against each other. So you have mental health issues, you go to get help, and now this personal information you've told somebody may be monitored by somebody, you don't know who and for what purpose, to train who and for what reason. And it could be sent to a country outside the United States that doesn't have the same privacy laws, or maybe no privacy laws at all. And it's because of this that the conspiracy theories are flying about what is actually going on, and people are comparing this to a form of Candid. If you guys remember Candid app, the one that the skeptics went and promoted. Thank you, skeptics, for screwing the rest of us over, all while bitching about how much money you guys aren't making anymore. That's your faults. That's your faults. So, anyway, this is my take on the privacy policy and the terms of service. I have more coming. It might be slow getting out just because I'm working with my body. So we are working in conjunction with what my body can do. I'm frustrated. I want to get so much stuff out to you guys, but unfortunately it might be more of a trickle. So just please keep that in mind. Please bear with me. I've still got a lot more to say. There are some pieces of info and some things I think are interesting I will be dropping soon. I'm very irritated. Do not get it twisted and do not get me wrong. I am highly, highly, highly irritated at what they are doing, because in my opinion, this is preying upon people with mental illness, and that's wrong. And I'm gonna continue to have hope that as this information comes out, YouTubers who promoted this will speak up about this and will try to right the wrong. I am hoping. This is still a new subject, and I'm not wanting to place blame yet. There's one person I put more blame on than anybody else, and we'll get to that. But I just wanted to go ahead and go over this with you guys because I wanted to get this information out to you. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, if you have opinions, if you are a lawyer that wants to reach out to me, joysparklebs@gmail.com. Again, joysparklebs@gmail.com, because I want to see how we can help people who may have already been screwed over, if that's even possible. Not saying it is, because I'm not a lawyer, but at the same time, I've just seen enough contracts. So Okay guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Please leave a comment, tell me what you think, give me your opinions, tell me if you think I've missed something, tell me if you think I'm wrong somewhere. Like this video. For every comment, every like, even every dislike, you help me in the algorithm, and if you're new, please subscribe, and then click the notification bell. And if you do all that, holy shit, you might not see my videos because YouTube kind of hates me. I think they hate a lot of people. But I upload typically at 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. almost every day, 2-ish videos a day. If I don't, I'm sick or something happened. And then on the weekends, I do a couple between like 11 and 3. So just to kind of give you guys a heads up, I think that's it. I'm really hot. I'm gonna go cool down, and I'm going to go put this together and get this out for you guys. All right, guys, so continue to be blessed in yourselves and blessed in others, and continue to try to find the joy and the sparkles and all the bullshit in the world. And hopefully we'll have some lawyers come forward who can maybe help some people when it comes to this situation and what can actually be done. I want to know who these third parties are in these countries outside the United States that have, that don't have the same privacy laws, or maybe any that the United States do, that it's either on a server or just sitting somewhere. I'd like to know exactly what that is, and we're going to go down the rabbit hole of the conspiracy theories coming up soon. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Mwah. Thank you so much. Take care. Oh my God, there's a puppy in my feet. It tickles.